Hey everyone! In today's DIY video, I'll be showing you two inspired takes on an Upstyle that was worn by Diana in the new Wonder Woman film. Normally, I'd like to be as screen accurate as is possible, but since I've only seen the movie once and it's not available for me to scrutinize on iTunes yet, I'm working solely from memory. Thankfully, I had several of you guys send me some behind-the-scene images, but one of the things I noticed was that there wasn't a ton of continuity between takes, hence my decision to try this out in different ways. Both styles start with the same base, which is basically clean, straight, untangled hair with a center parting. The first sections are two vertical lines on either side of the face. They extend from the top of the head to slightly behind the ear. It's basically just a headband parting that separates the back from the front. The next few sections all happen in the hair along the face. I think you can see that I'm using my comb to split this up into 3 even panels, which for all intents isn't so different from some of the Viking stuff that I've done on my channel in the past. But before addressing any of these, I chose to use a 3/4 of an inch curling iron on everything in the back. I found that traditional ringlets worked really great for this project, and for the sake of time, I'm going to fast forward a bit. Now, there's some gentle volume at the crown of the actress's head, nothing too crazy, so here I'm using my favorite teasing powder and backcombing everything in that top panel. I tend to work from the back of my sections forward, but it really doesn't matter how you do this, if you actually decide to do this step at all. I'm assuming that many of you probably already have experience with this method, but if you're unfamiliar with the technique, I'll have my Teasing 101 video in the underbar below. The side panels are a little different though, in that they're literally just slicked back and hairsprayed down. It's during times like this that I wish I had another set of hands, but since I obviously don't, I worked on the right first and used a clip to hold it as I pulled back the left. Now you can always opt to just tie these two pieces together with a small elastic, but since you guys know me and how much I love braids, I chipped off some hair from both sides and made a 3-strand. I actually think that this by itself makes a cute little half-up. So now that I've really reached the second half of this styling, you can see that I've begun by pulling all the remaining hair into a ponytail at the middle of the back of my head. The sides of this should be sleek, so it definitely helps to stop, spray, and smooth them before pinning. When I was ready, I began by turning the ponytail towards the right side of my head like a French twist, except this is more of a reverse French twist since I'm kind of directing all the loose hair downwards, and I'm also not tucking in the ends. And when it came to actually securing this shape, I used both a combination of closed and open pins. Remember that you want to grab hair from both your scalp and the twist, and don't overload the pins with too much hair either, or they'll slip out. The rest of this was pretty much me just winging it. I simply picked up pieces of hair and wrapped them around or on top of my twist. I concentrated the bulk of it at the nape of my neck, which I honestly wasn't sure was right. Like I said earlier, the continuity between scenes was a little strange. In some images, the style looked very classical as it settled at the neck, and then in others, the majority of her hair appeared to be secured higher up on her head in something that looked a bit more contemporary. I also noticed that some of these pictures looked as though they included pin curls, so I thought I'd play around with that idea too, just to see what would come of it. I've got the same base in this second demonstration with the raised crown and slicked back sides into a braid. But in this version, I've divided the loose hair horizontally, leaving a portion hanging along my neck. Again, I used a few pins to hold the twist I was making, although this is more of a half bun, and that's okay. I just needed to build something that I could stick my bobbies into as I pin curled. I was trying to conserve some of my length here, which is why I switched this step up a little bit. And that's because I wanted this version to appear a bit more spread out along the space at the back of my head, meaning I wanted it to look even from top to bottom. And with that, it was almost like before in that I was just making it up as I went along. I pulled up sections of hair, wound them around my finger, and pinned them to my head. When I could, I tucked unruly ends underneath the base, and some of the curls required more than one pin. These kind of styles can sometimes be sort of tricky to do on oneself, so if I could, I'd advise you take your time and maybe use a small hand mirror to see what you're doing. And like always, don't worry about those small imperfections. It's actually easier to adjust them once your hair is totally up and off your neck. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you like either of these ideas? Do you think I got the basic silhouette right? Hope you guys enjoyed my video, and until next time, have fun and keep braiding. Bye!